The expression of violence is better done than the man or woman who has experienced it himself or who is exposed to it. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our program Talking Violence. My name is Cally Ikpe, and today our guest is no other than Nigeria's most visible governor, the chairman of Nigeria Governors Forum, the governor of Zamfara State, Abdulaziz Yari. So you're welcome to the program.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right. Governor Yari, for some time now, Zamfara State has been in the news for almost too long. Sometimes it's even muted. Instead, a lot of things happen in Zamfara State as far as violence is concerned. I don't know how that makes you feel at the twilight of your administration.
Thank you very much. Let me start by giving thanks to Almighty Allah, who is His eternal mercy, giving me opportunity to serve Zamfara people for 8 consecutive years as the executive governor. When I came in first, I intended to contest the governorship in 2010. I made up my mind that I'm going to join the rest. I came with so many vision and mission as a grassrooter. But when I get there, as God so had it, the issue of violence, farmers, herders, banditry, cattle rustling, killing, innocent killing, just surrounded the entire administration to be very busy on how are we going to contain this menace. So a lot of things disrupted. So I'm in the midst of this violence since 2012 up to where we are today.
Well, this must have started some very great distraction to you.
Too sad.
Yes.
Too sad.
Now, I don't know how much of a distraction it was to you, but somehow I hear of commissioning of this here and that, meaning that in the midst of that all, you are still able to find time to continue governance or so.
Absolutely.
Yes. How are you able to balance this?
You see, sometimes if you look at the problem, I just don't want to believe that it's all the political undertone. And sometimes inside me, try to look at that angle. But I don't believe it because I don't want to more distraction. Because if I now believe so much that, yeah, this is politically motivated, I'm going to start pursuing the political opponents. And that will be on the storm. So, but I believe that we're all human beings, and whether we are from Zamfara State or we are at least Nigerians. So let me not believe that it's politically motivated, but let me continue with the intelligence to prove to me that this is a kind of violence by other group or sect just to achieve either economic gain or otherwise. For instance, if Fulani people says no Hausa person will rear a cattle, what are they doing? Impinging their rights and also to maximize the gain because nobody will sell cattle as a Fulanis. If Hausa says no Fulani should farm, should get a land, farm of land, piece of land to farm, what are they trying to do? They are trying to maximize the business they are known with. All those kind of things. So, but you need to dig into ground, in depth, to look at the in-depth of the problem. Who are the motivators? Who is engineering it? Who did what? That I love with intelligent people too. But when I had this attack, then my attention would be diverted, whatever I'm doing. Of course, I have to be a leader that I cannot be carried away by a particular problem. All the problem is on my neck, and I have to take it. So therefore, the issue of development must be there, container security must be there, but the truth of the matter, if there's no such problem, the benefit will be more, the result will be more excellent. Because there are so many things that we cannot be able to attain. There are something that is in my heart that I promise. And still now, as remaining about 8 weeks to go, I have that in my mind that I will achieve it. I still have the belief that I will achieve it. But if I have no such problem in place, I will have achieved it excellently in my first or second year. I promise that women that are trusted, and from my experience,
the women that are trusted,
are trustworthy people than the men. That's the truth. So when you're going to invest in women, and I promise I'm going to invest in them.
Wow.
That's the truth. For instance,
yes,
if you give a woman who is a car seller 50,000, she'll ensure you, when you return tomorrow, she'll show you the 50,000 and maybe add about 2,000. Say, this is my profit I get out of that 50,000. But a man, he just within 2 hours finish the 50,000 and tomorrow come looking for another 100,000. So that's what it is. So when I observe that, I say, okay, I have a plan for women. We're going to give them support. And that's what it's about 5-6 billion project. Naira. So, but going in there, today, other people were killed. Their houses were burned. Their post stopped. Their shops. You have to intervene. Because the crisis, the violence, political, and is causing economic and total touch hatred to government. For instance, if you have your shop of at least 250,000, you have your 2 boys, shopkeepers. They are killed. The shop was burnt to ashes, and you run away for your life. And the still governor that you know that you thought this thing, I should stop it. I have all the capacity to stop it, and I did not. So that's why it's painting my government administration black, Iran, hot. So therefore, in doing that, we must go and make assessment. Those who are killed, we control the family, we cannot bring life back, but whatever material lost, government is paying that. Okay, so that cost a lot of funds go there and all hinder some of our development and our campaign promises.
Well laid out. You have just hinted at this issue of corporate conspiracy. You know about this, so you suspect it, but you just decided to ignore it instead, so that you can concentrate on your work. Now, going forward, do you think some people are actually benefiting from causing this kind of situation? So they can be.
Well, the result has shown that they cannot get benefit. They cannot benefit them in any way. If you're doing it for the sake of politics, we have done 2015 general election, you couldn't get anything. 2019 general election happened, you couldn't get anything. So maybe they may change tactics now. Because all these troubles, storm, Kabla, in the political example of states, and also the issue of this violence in the remote area, well, you can mention names of politicians, but I don't want to go there because I didn't believe it in the first instance. So now in the end, I cannot. But I lead them with intelligence to get them involved, and also the creator knows better. But if for whatever reason for the political to achieve anything, they now realize they cannot, because they have putting the state into a serious dilemma. But people of Zamfara State, they show that yes, they are one party, whether they're inside or outside, because the party led by my humble self get into the election under 24 hours, clear the entire National Assembly, under 2 weeks, clear the entire State Assembly and governorship. So now anybody who is thinking that the inciting of violence is the tool for him to get a cheap political value doesn't proceed. That cannot work. But as time goes on, names will come out.
Violence breeds hatred. Hatred builds states and darkens life. When we cultivate a culture of tolerance, empathy, and equity, we sow the seeds of peace, which engenders progress, prosperity, and security for all. I am Abdulsalam Abubakar, and I wholeheartedly support the campaign.
My name is Adamu Alero. I watch Token Violence with Cally, and I advise that if people are watching it, it's a very good program.
Violence hinders development. I am Oni Adeyeye Enitan Ogunwusi Ojaja II.
I'm the Catholic Bishop of the Diocese of Sokoto. I fully endorse and support this initiative because a violent person has no future and a violent society has no future. So whatever we need to do, let's all join hands together and have a violent-free world.
Okay, yeah, there's something that has always, I've always wondered and wished that I would see you. Thank God I'm meeting you in your capacity as governor. I think I feel most blessed for that happening. Now, these things were going on and it didn't seem like you were getting enough sympathy, enough mention. About 500 people would have been killed in Zamfara and then probably maybe 20 or 30 kids somewhere else, and then you hear more of the noise there or that kind of stuff. I've always wanted to find out, how does that make you feel?
Because
Yes.
you see, the problem were all Muslim there,
Yes.
so that there's no any variation of ethnicity or religion. So, but in the other part of the country, those that are so called to say they are named in the killing are Muslim and particular sect, and other that are being killed are other either Christian and other sect. So when 10 or 5 were killed in Benue, you see it in the air. But 50, 80, 60 will be killed in Zamfara. Quiet. But it's the problem of media. You people are the problem. You people are the problem. Because maybe, I don't know, you decide to say there's a second-class citizen in Nigeria and first-class citizen. Muslim are the second-class citizen, and maybe Christian or House of Planis are second-class citizen, and any other language is the first-class citizen. Because otherwise, a number of killing, numerous of killing, even today, there's killing in Zamfara, but don't see it in the newspaper. But even to say they happen in Benin or Tarab or any other place, all over. Why? The question to you.
No, but that's why I came here. I'm doing the asking.
No.
I asked the question because the first time.
You see the problem. That's why I say it's media people are the problem.
I actually came to Zamfara State, you understand. I did a couple of research. I went around there, you understand. I was even on television on the panel, and we had discussions regarding to issues of violence. And I was wondering, what is going on here? It happens elsewhere. You hear about these farmer headers clashes. It's not as if it doesn't happen in Zamfara, where people are harassed, but it is taken like, okay, as chairman of Nigerian Governors Forum, that makes you quite close to the federal government, to President Muhammadu Buhari.
Indeed.
Now, how has Governor Yari, how has Zamfara State been helped?
You see, President is off and doing. He has been doing whatever is possible. But sometimes you can take horse to the river. But can you force him to take the water?
No.
We're Nigerian.
Yes.
President Muhammadu Buhari take the oath of office to defend the country, integrity, to protect the life and properties of citizens as the number one principle of the administration and the number one primary objective of any government. But can Muhammadu Buhari carry gun and go and do it himself? There's a trust given to other people that from army, police, air force, navy, armed forces. If they went and did not perform excellently as expected, what do you do? Let me take it through.
Okay.
Up to 2014, we don't have up to 80 soldiers, despite the whole problem.
80 soldiers.
80.
In the whole of Zamfara.
In the whole of Zamfara State, we don't have up to 80 soldiers to fight these menace up to 2014. Until when there was a time about 230 people were killed, and the government is still down. I have to put a protest letter to President Jonathan that I saw Obama going wild mad. One person was killed in America. And when you go, you say you're a leader. And Obama says he's a leader. Who's a leader? You have people, 230 were killed. No condolence from the president in 2014. No simple delegation by the federal government, 230 at a time were killed. What are we doing? Are you a leader really? Like his people? People trusted you and give you mandate to lead them? And what is happening in the country? You kept short? No action? Until then, when he ordered the then National Security Advisor to ask for deployment of soldiers from Zulu. 33 battalion arrived in Zamfara, 250 soldiers. Why they start operation?
So that was from the moment the size of the armed forces in Zamfara State started increasing.
Okay. In 2015, yes. We still have 250. When Muhammad Buhari's come into the administration, in 2016, you remember sometimes in July, he was there for the Army Day, Army Administration Day. He told me one story. He said, Governor, can you remember when I was taken out of, I said, I'm in the secondary school that time. He laughed. He says, since that day, when I was taken out of uniform, I never wear uniform until here today in Zamfara. So it's a great honor to us. What did he went there and do? To encourage our military men and women to ensure that they protect the integrity of their land, their fatherland. That's what they take out up to do. As a commander-in-chief. So from then, we got over 700 troops. As I'm talking to you today, we have a brigade in Zamfara with about 2 battalions. We have army base, quick response. We have military children's school, about 2 built there. As I'm telling you today, we have about 4,300 men and women in the state to fight these menace. So I can tell you the president has done his best. And he answered to my call at any point in time. At any point in time, I want to see him not because I'm the governor of Nigeria, chairman of the Governors Forum of Nigeria. No. When I came with the problem of Zamfara, I specifically mentioned the issue of Zamfara. He said, come and see me. So I've been sharing, talking, go and see the chief of army staff, go and see the chief of air staff, discuss with them, have so on and so forth. A lot of things.
Violence has gone from being justified to a culture that is becoming increasingly popular with young people. The society has regrettably not helped much, as part of their response sometimes unwittingly serves to encourage this trend. Many young people in Nigeria are increasingly getting to believe that taking to arms in some situations bring about quicker solutions, as has been experienced in the Niger Delta region of Nigeria, and now the Boko Haram insurgency.
We are only getting worse by fighting, by having violence take charge of our nation. So it's something that should be fought, that should be fast driven away.
Also brewing presently is the Biafran situation in the southeast, with the potential to get really ugly.
What is wrong with us? There's war everywhere, war in Middle East, war in Africa, Boko Haram in Nigeria. What is going on? We can have peace if we decide to do that.
Young people of Nigeria should realize that, don't be gullible. Don't let nobody manipulate you. People tend to want to play on the minds of young people for their own benefit.
People have not tried absolute peace before, and from what I see, I think that's the only thing that will work in this world. Except some crispy people who just agree make it happen.
While it may be impracticable to achieve a violence-free world, it is very possible to keep it to the barest minimum by constantly campaigning against it in our words and our works.
World without violence.
A 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 world of no violence.
A world without violence.
A world without violence.
A world without violence.
A violence-free world.
No more war, no more violence. Forget the bombs and guns. One love.
My name is King Gateke Michael Tom. I support violence-free campaign in Nigeria. Keep watching Talking Violent with Cally.
We are talking
Violence with Cally.
Let's douse the tension.
On the final notes now, because we need to end this quickly. What else are you doing to make sure that these things are nipped in the bud? Some of the causes of these things, some of the remote causes are, like they say, injustice and deprivation. When people are extremely poor, they become ready arsenals in the hands of terror merchants. They become bandits, they become kidnappers, they become even insurgents.
Well,
what programs do you have in place?
You see, we have initially what we intend to do with our meager resources. Issue of infrastructure development is there as a concern. Improving the social well-being of our people is involved. Improving the economic life is there involved. Everything is involved in the neck of government. But what we intend to do is for us to shut these people down. When we did the amnesty in 2015, bring your arms back and we're going to pay you. The money you used to buy those arms, you can continue buying your cattle to be reared and then be part of the good citizen of Nigeria. And government, we are going to create a lot of opportunities, grazing reserve, create mini dams for you, introduce new land for agriculture, have school for education. Your people, your children are not going for school. Have school. We plan all these things. We have a commercial plan for that. But unfortunately, people are not willing to do that, to cooperate with the government. We know the poverty, extreme poverty, is part of this problem.
The offered has not worked.
Has not worked. Has not worked. Because they disagree to even bring their arms back. We are paying each and every AK-47 at 350,000.
And yet, but some people bring.
There are some what they is too insignificant. Because we know what they have, we have their capacity. I can tell you that we could not able to get up to 60. We get some local handmade at 150,000, we give them 100,000, we get those ones. But the sophisticated weapon that we want to get retrieved out of the bandit, that we couldn't succeed. Because we know they are in possession of over 300 or 400. But we could only get about 59. So they are not willing to bring those things out.
But that's just an aspect of it. Sir. Generally, we're talking about, well, you have done your best in trying to ensure that there's infrastructure, there's support for farming, for farmers, and all that kind of stuff. So, but it's just to make sure that you are on top of the situation always, even beyond you understand, onto even your successor being on top of it to ensure that at least people are not readily available. That's always been my concern, because this program, Road to a Violence-Free Nigeria, that we're pursuing, is targeting young people particularly, and they want to relate with you, and I'm sure they will listen to you too well. Can you talk to them about involvement with violence as in becoming comfortable now?
You see, the effects of violence in life cannot make any progress, more especially to our teen youth. For instance, assume my life. If I started it in violence, or I'm being used for violence, there's no time that I'll be where I am today. So, in Zamfara State, before even I became governor, when I'm the party secretary, party chairman of in our state, I do gather you because they rally behind me at any moment and enjoy their support. And I do tell them, we cannot give you anything but to educate you, because that's the benefit we get from a parent and who sponsors us to where we are. If we are going to use you to give you drugs, to give you money to go and take drugs, if we cannot give you, to go and do all the rascal kind of life, then we are not helping the society, because you are going to be the leaders tomorrow after us. So, if there's anyone who is inviting you to come for violence, please, why don't you tell him to bring his own child, or his immediate junior brother, or his nephew to be in this queue, so that he should be in the front and you follow him. Because if you observe, those that are inviting you for such kind of act, their children are in good schools. If care not taken, is there in abroad, studying to become good people, good Nigerians. But you are being used. So my call to the team youth of Nigeria, they should not be allowed for any person to make their life useless by introducing them to violence. Violence cannot take us to anywhere, cannot produce a leaders, cannot produce a better society. So they should shun away from the violence.
Wow, that's very heavy. And on this note, Yari, I'd like to thank you once again.
Thank you very much
for coming to our show.
Thank you.
My name is Cally Ikpe, and that will be our show for this week. Same time next week, promises even a better edition. Until then, we remain on the road to a violence-free Nigeria, where we have no other country.